As I always say on my show, every new day is a chance to change your life. You just have to believe in yourself. When I started my career, I believed I could change the way people look at women entrepreneurs. And I managed to do that in whatever small way I could. Our guest on today's inspiration segment also believed that it's not about getting pushed by the problems, but about being led by the dreams. Let's look at another inspiring story. Poonam Bhojani, an entrepreneur, an educator, and the founder of one of the most innovative schools, Dubai International Academy. She's also the CEO of Innoventures Education, which is making international standards of education available for students here in the UAE. Poonam takes immense pride in her students and faculty who are the brand ambassadors of the school and taking it a notch higher. I chatted up with Poonam to find out what drove her passion to bring about the change in education. Poonam, let's begin from your childhood. Tell our viewers, how did it all start in your life?
My childhood was very stable, I would say, till a certain age. And then my father got posted overseas as a UN expert.
Okay.
And that's where my journey in international education really started. And that's where I think I got many, that was the start of many things in my life. And I changed my school a few times because of my father changing his location. And each one was a great learning experience. And then I went on to study college and post-graduation in management in India at the Indian Institute of Management in Bangalore. And I started working straight after that. And again, because I worked in many different countries in the early parts of my career, that I think I had a lot of international exposure.
I'm really interested to know how your journey as an educationalist started.
I think for one, I have always been a lifelong learner. I have always prided myself on being a lifelong learner. And then I think the kind of education that I received, I felt was about learning how to learn. But my formal career was in IT.
Right.
And my last formal job, so to say, was in IT banking, where I was heading the IT for ABN AMRO Bank.
Okay.
And I quit my job then because my children were very young and they were really not getting the kind of care they needed from me at that point. So I quit my job, my formal job, but I started going to school with them, dropping them to school, being their mom, being their chauffeur, being their party organizer, doing everything. And those were the best years of my life, really. 2-3 years that were just tremendous.
You thoroughly enjoyed it.
But I also started going to school a lot with them and following what they were learning. And while their learning was really very good, I just felt that they needed more challenge in their life. And then I really became sort of obsessed with that idea that they needed more in their education. And my younger son really had to bear the brunt of it because I used to go to his school and walk around in the corridors, keep just looking around, what can be better. I was that mother that we now sort of are very fearful of here in school.
I was just going to that.
Yeah. At that point, Dubai was just turning very global, and Dubai was realizing its vision of becoming a truly international city. And I thought, after doing some research, I thought what better system than the IB system. And there was no full IB school at that point over here. And my husband and I, we worked together, and we were very fortunate that we were given this opportunity to start the first IB school here. And this was way back in 2005. And I've never looked back since then. and it's been a great journey in education.
It's great to have an idea, but to execute the idea is a different story altogether, especially if the idea is in the education industry. So how did it all start, and how did you sustain?
Especially if the idea is in the education industry, and especially if it's something new that you're starting out.
Absolutely.
For example, when we started the first IB school, parents here did not know about the fact that the IB offered a full school curriculum. So we had to educate the parents on the benefits of such an innovative curriculum. Also, it was difficult to find teachers. Also, it was difficult to find resources. But we were just determined and dedicated. Now, if you see in Dubai, IB is the flavor of the day, and everybody wants to go and get an IB education. And that's because what Dubai really needed was an education that was truly international. So while you may work very hard, at the end of the day, there is something called luck, and I think we had our fair share of that as well. This was just about a week before school was to have started in its very first year. There was no air conditioning just a few days before start of school. So obviously we could not furnish the school. But then, you know, how fortunate Dubai is to have a ruler like His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid. He just drove in unannounced into the school to check out this new school at Emirates Hills. And when he saw the status of the school, I don't know what happened, but within a few hours of that, everything started rolling forward. And we had the air conditioning, and we could actually open school on time on September 10th, 2005.
Initially, as you said, you had a lot of challenges, but what was your core vision? What was that one thing that was driving you?
That every student of our schools should get the best possible education. That every decision that was made with the student at the core of this decision. And that anything that was done was all about students and their learning.
In last 10 years, education as an industry has evolved. One thing that I, as a parent, would like to ask, why is education become so expensive? And is it directly proportionate to quality?
In the past, education used to be funded by the state in most countries. When that is not the case, when the funding is not from the state, then the costs of education have to be borne by the parents. But now, teachers, if you're offering international education, then international teachers have to be paid according to international scales. That is one. Second thing is, the facilities have to be top-notch. Okay, so you have to pay, somebody has to pay for those facilities. It's not that it's owned by the state and it's for free, none of that anymore. But there is a good side to that also. The good side to that is that it brings about a sense of accountability in education more than ever so before. So if you're making a promise to your community, you need to be, you're held accountable to that promise.
As an industry, what is your major expense? What do you most invest into?
Most of all, in private education, it's the teachers. That is the maximum area of expenditure, and that is how it should be also, because you really need good teachers, you need inspirational, passionate, motivated teachers to ensure that the learning is outstanding. You can do without everything else, but not without teachers.
How many students do you look after on a daily basis?
Across our schools and nursery, we have approximately 7,500 students. And they are from the ages of 18 months to 18 years. And then of course we have over 1,100 staff, teachers and support personnel. And we also have a number of outsourced staff in every campus. So as a community, we are a very large community, and if you count the thousands of parents that go through our schools each day, so it's a lot of people.
My son is now in year 11, 15 years old, and obviously he will go to university in 3 years' time. I just find the whole process becoming more and more complex. How do we make it simpler, and how have the whole process grown over the years?
The kind of education we are providing to our students is basically teaching them how to learn on their own and how to apply that learning, and that is, in many ways, it's called critical thinking. So we are teaching them we are inspiring them to become critical thinkers so that they can learn on their own wherever they go. And then they are made to also, they're given time to find their interests of what they want to do, what is their passion in life. And then as the students grow, we also engage with them in seeking specific goals that they may have, that somebody wants to study engineering, somebody wants to get into computer science, somebody wants to study management, or somebody wants to become a doctor. So we work with them a few years. This all starts years before they actually graduate from school. This year's cohort, we had 50% of the batch went into the top 17 universities across the world,
Amazing.
So we can really say that our university admissions have shown that this education is working.
You have 2 kids, as you said, and a full family, a very successful husband. How do you do work-life balance?
I think if you're passionate about what you do, it's very easy to find that balance. So you just have to have a little bit of time management, but you have to have a dream, you have to dare to dream, and you have to work hard to achieve that dream, and then the rest of the things balance themselves out.
What is that one thing that makes you feel life is good?
Seeing children around, seeing their smiling faces and shining eyes, and seeing them all over in all the schools, I think that is for me such a great inspiration.
Poonam, what's that one message you would like to give out all the parents who are watching this show right now?
Let your children dream and let them follow their dreams.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.